Hi folks, I'm Bob Schrupp, physical therapist.
Brad Heineck, physical therapist.
Together we are the most famous physical therapists on the internet.
In our opinion, of course, Bob.
Brad, the reason I got into videos, by the way, is because of Gary Vaynerchuk. I saw one of his videos and he inspired me. He said, you know, we should start doing videos for our patients, for their back pain and neck pain. And
sure.
And
I remember that day, the first day you were talking about it, and I said, okay, I guess we can.
You thought we were nuts, and Gary was ahead of his time. Gary was one kind of the pioneers in YouTube. You have to watch some of his videos. He did a first one called Wine Library TV, where he just did videos on wine.
Sure.
Because he was running a wine store at the time, and now he's branched off. He owns Vayner, huge company, 400 or 500 employees, and he's really
very successful.
Really big into social media. And I was watching one of his videos recently, and I saw that he was complaining about some back pain. So I'm like, well, let's do something for Gary. He did something for us. So
sure.
Let's by the way, if you're new to our channel, please take a second to subscribe to us. We provide videos on how to stay healthy and fit and pain-free, and we upload every day. And also like us on Facebook, because we have a severe psychological problem that nobody likes us, or at least we believe that, right?
Well, it's getting better though, Bob.
All right.
It is. It's every likable. It's like whatever. The Facebook is good.
Yeah. Okay, Gary. What I can tell you, I see. You know, a lot of times you give an impression of what your day is like, and you're at a lot of meetings and you're doing a lot of sitting.
So you've watched his videos, watched him, his body mechanics, and what's going on.
Yeah. And I know he works out, which is good. But sitting, back pain has become a sitting problem. It's not a lifting problem anymore. It's a sitting. And even though you don't know it, and I watch your posture when you're sitting, it's not too bad. But the more you're in a somewhat of a rounded out posture like this all day long, it's putting pressure on the back. So yeah, Brad, why don't you, this is the spine.
If you're doing this, it's a poor posture, or if you're doing this and you got your head forward, you're working at the computer, slouching over your desk, it's all doing.
To be honest, almost just even if you just sit, even if you sit correctly, it's hard on your back.
It does put more stress on your back than standing, for sure.
Yes, it does. Yeah. So these are one thing we're going to try to do the opposite of this to some extent. I'm going to show you how to do some extensions, but let's first talk about your day. As you're going through your meetings, I would first try to do maybe some standing meetings.
Sure.
One, it's going to make the meeting shorter, if that's what you want to be. But every once in a while, especially if it's just with staff and maybe you're not meeting with a customer, I'll just go ahead and stand.
So the whole group stays standing.
The whole group can stand.
Right.
Yeah, it's good for all of them. It's good for all their backs. You can also have walking meetings, which are really good. Let's walk, and because walking is really good for your back. It gets more oxygen to it, and it's going to make it a lot more healthier.
Right, walking on the flat would be preferable.
Right.
And probably a smaller meeting, because if you got 20 people walking, it might be hard to communicate.
All right, one of the other key things that you're going to want to do throughout the day, Gary, are press-ups. I probably didn't plan this out very good, Brad, because I put this table here.
That's all right, Bob.
Let me get this out of the way.
Yeah, and don't lift stuff like that.
Yeah. All right. Throughout the day, Gary, believe it or not, put a mat in your office or whatever, and this takes 2 minutes or less. All you're going to do is lay down. You're going to put your hands underneath your shoulders, and you're going to do press-ups like this.
Right.
You're not lifting up your pelvis.
There's not a push-up.
It's not a push-up. You're leaving the pelvis down, and you're putting your back in the opposite direction of what is causing the problem. The rounded forward is causing the problem. Going back like this solves the problem.
Sure.
So if you can do, just jump down onto the floor, do 10 of these every hour, you're going to have less back pain.
Right.
I can guarantee you.
Now, just in case you've got some unusual problem and you do this and it hurts and it makes it worse every time you do it, either you're not ready for it, you're going too aggressive into it, or you may
want to start with half ones.
Sure. Yeah.
You may want to start just by laying here, even, and doing some of your work this way. If you want to read some of your papers,
right,
or what do you have to look at, or even looking at your phone.
Sure.
So
listen to your body. We're just trying to get that range of motion back from some of the habits that likely have caused this.
Another thing that wouldn't be the worst thing is to have a sit-to-stand table. So here's a table, you're sitting down, you're working at it, and then every so often you just bring it up like this, and now you can work at this level. And again, it gets you out of that. What they recommend is every half hour. Well, it was 10 minutes, right? Or 8 minutes of standing.
Right. 20 minutes sitting, 8 minutes of standing, and 2 minutes of dancing or
moving
around.
Right. So By the way, in case you're wondering how we're going to get this thing to Gary Vaynerchuk, we don't know how. We're counting on the fact that there's 7 degrees of separation, right, Brad?
Right.
Between us and Gary.
Right
so somebody in our audience, if you know VaynerMedia or you know somebody that knows VaynerMedia, you go and tell them about this video, and then that person should tell Gary or get it to him somehow.
And it's going to be one of those things that make the whole positive circle, and we'll get some good results.
We're going to see if this actually works or not. So the next thing you want to do, Gary, is when you are sitting, when you have to sit, you're going to want a back support in your chair. So there's a whole lot of them, Brad. This one wouldn't be a bad one for an office chair. So this is by Napo. It's a big cushion. What's nice about it is when it's in the chair, and you can actually support it with the chair like this, you can actually, kind of lean forward and work a little bit while you're with that into place. But even if I lean back like this, you can see how it's putting the arch in my back and keeping me supported.
Right.
So
this is, I hate to say, it's my favorite. I would use this one all the time. It's memory foam.
Yeah.
It's really got some good, nice qualities to it.
So, and then there's a whole host of other ones. I mean, even when you're driving in a vehicle, you should make sure that you've got some type of support there, because when you sit in a car, it's the same thing. You're going to go into that flex position, so you want to make sure you can get something in there to give you the arch.
Right. There's a good chance he has an adjustable built-in arch support, but some people aren't aware of it, and they don't go and adjust it so that it does support the low back and put that natural arch.
If he's taking Uber or whatever, I mean, it really isn't the worst thing to have a support along with you.
That's a good point.
I mean, especially if you're doing a fair amount of driving, even 10 minutes here and there, when you're in that flex position in the car and there's shock absorption, it really makes things a lot worse.
Yep.
So then you want to make, and I know, Gary, you work out, but you want to make sure you're getting some back strengthening. A simple one to do is just the pointer dog one, right?
Sure.
Brad?
Yep.
So you're going to go ahead and just do opposite arm and opposite leg.
And it's important when you do this, you keep your back in a neutral position. So, Bob, you want to show them an arch position?
Sure.
So if you're sagging down like this,
this is not good.
That's not good. And
or like this.
Right. You want to get it in a neutral position, tighten up the core muscles, and then go ahead and do it.
What I do when I do these is I actually put a little variation on this, Brad. I go forward, I go off to the side, I go off to the back. It just really works the posture muscles really well.
Yep.
So, and then I do the opposite side, and I go off to the side, off to the back here.
Yep.
So,
all right.
Another good thing to have in the...
I'm feeling better already, Bob.
Another good thing to have in your office, I know, again, he's really busy. I'm going to show him things he can do really fast, is you just have some of these bands here attached to the wall like this. And why don't we slide this down, Brad? So you're going to just have, and you can just real quickly rip off a bunch of these where you're actually working on the posture muscles. They're actually squeezing them together here.
Pull the scapulas together.
Yep. So, I mean, you can go off, just rip off 50 of these real quick and go down here real quick and up here real quick. And all this all puts those posture muscles, and it's going to keep you a lot straighter, and it's going to feel a lot better on your back. So, press ups, if I were to pick one thing, Brad, one is stand less. The second thing would be doing those press ups.
Sure.
I mean, I would be doing those, like I said, every hour if I could.
Right. You'll know if they're the right things to do, because they're going to feel good when you do them and afterwards.
All right. Thanks for watching, Gary.
Good luck on this.